Some of y'all gonna be in the comments, well, like, oh, this person do this. Well, I'm not talking about the person who has margin.
If a man is paying child support, should he still feel obligated to help out financially in other ways?
So we can't get selective amnesia because it's male, female. We get selective when it's beneficial to us.
Absolutely. So with younger men or men that say, hey, I'm not in a position to pay the whole mortgage, do you recommend them to just stay focused on their grind and build their wealth before they start looking for a wife? Or if she come along during the process, then we just link up and get this done?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this, because your timing is not God's timing. Like, you don't know. Like, you really don't know. Like, if we all just knew, like, on February 15th of 2027, I'm gonna find my wife. Like, everybody would plan for it. You don't know his plan. So the reality is, I feel like you make things happen organic. Like, if you just a hot mess, though, and like y'all know what I'm talking about when I say a hot mess. Like, you out here spending money you don't have. You in debt out your wazoo. Like, you literally, catching a bus because you can't afford a car, because you going on trips you can't afford, and you just spending money just crazy, and you don't have your stuff in order. Like, you probably shouldn't be focused on nobody else.
Okay. Now,
I will say, it's like that's where that self-awareness.
Yeah.
You got to be self-aware to know that you about to destroy somebody's life.
Yeah.
Like you destroying yours. So why are you going to bring somebody into the equation and hope that they're going to help fix you? You got to fix you first. Like, that's not that person's responsibility to fix you first. So I would just say, when, like, you too far gone right now. So kind of get through that stuff first, and then bring somebody else in the equation. But then in the case where you just a hard worker, you going to work every day, you trying to get someplace, like, it ain't happening as fast because maybe you need more salary, or you need to cut back on some expenses or whatever, then if it happens, it happens. Mm-hmm. I said the quickest way to building wealth is having two.
Right.
So if you paying $1,000, she paying $1,000, now you came together, she make 50, you make 50, you make 100,000 now, and now you only have $1,000 mortgage instead of 2,000. That $1,000 now pays for the cars, pays for the gas, pays for the insurance.
Yeah.
So again, you there quicker than you thought.
Yeah.
So again, but I just think that if you know you a hot mess, stay away, and that goes both ways, he or she.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like a lot of people are looking for someone to come save them.
Oof.
So if I make 50 and I can find somebody to make 150, then you can save me and I can keep my 50, do what I want, and live off your 150.
Yeah, that's not fair. Again, it becomes one. And in my house, and I'll tell you guys, we share, and it's life-changing, y'all. If nothing else, to all y'all out here who disagree with me, that feel like the teachings, y'all should have 3 accounts. The account one, y'all save together. One is y'all bill account. One is y'all own account. And then y'all send the money. So then now y'all got all these overdraft fees because somebody keep forgetting to send the money. And ain't nobody putting into the savings because I decided to buy this dress or go on this vacation with my friends. So now you ain't doing your half. So now we arguing about saving. Then when an emergency comes in the house y'all living together, nobody has no money. Because y'all on 2 different pages. The roof gonna go bad. The HVAC gonna go bad. The car, something gonna happen to it. But y'all not on the same accord, so ain't nobody gonna be ready for nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Y'all done made me mad now.
No, that's good. That passion coming out.
Yes, sir.
More women are becoming the primary breadwinners, forcing couples to redefine what marriage look like. Should a man ever be a stay-at-home husband if his wife is a higher earner?
I think that's to each his own. I do believe in this environment, and it's relative. Like, I have a client, she makes a couple $1 million a year. She's a CEO. I'm here in town, and she makes a couple $1 million a year. Well, it's all how you set your life up. It's all on your budget. She can afford for her husband to stay home. He makes 1/10 of what she makes. And they've considered that because they have young kids, and they want to grow their family. Will he stay home and take care of the kids? Well, I mean, making $2 million a year, I think he can afford to stay home. I just think he can, So I think that, if you make $50,000 a year and your expenses are $75,000, probably can't afford to stay home. But I do believe in this environment, in this world with just cost inflation, and just the cost of doing business today and the cost of living, I just think that it really calls for a 2 household income in most cases. And if you're trying to get to the goal, and some of you might be like, I disagree with that, Larese. Well, you disagree because you don't want to go to work. So stop disagreeing with me. Yeah, and probably the person that's going to disagree in the comments is the one who want to stay home.
Yeah, for sure.
So all that being said is, I do believe too it's a quicker way to the goal. So the plan might be, well, because of the way we set up, that 50 grand a year, because she makes 150, he makes 50. That 50 grand a year, if we want to get to $500,000 or $1 million, you work for the next 10 years versus working for the next 30 and get us to that money to set us up for the future. That's our retirement.
For sure.
So all your money goes into the retirement. Then in 10 years, you can still enjoy our kids in junior high and high school and all that sort of stuff. So again, it's just putting a plan down and saying the goals. A lot of you guys out there have no goals and you have no plans, so you don't even know how to set it up and you don't know what you need.
Yeah.
So that's why you telling people to stay home. And then you realize at some point, like, we really can afford for you to stay home because you never knew the goal.
Yeah. What about the men who tied their masculinity to being providers?
Yeah, so, man, get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Like, the reality is, if God told me today that you're never going to work another day in your life, I still leave my house. Let me be clear. Hey, woman, you know who I'm talking to. I still lead this house. I'm still the man of this house. And it's clear, like, if you worried about money being the masculine, that creating that masculinity that you're talking about, then you got some other problems.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, she married a man, and she should be clear that's a man. Your daughter know that's a man. My son know who the man in the house is. And he's a man, but he knows who the man of that house is.
Yeah.
He knows who the leader of that house is. And so the reality is, that's how you carry yourself. That's how you, like, put it down every day in other areas that create that so they are clear on who you are. So my wife wants to be led. So if you got a woman that, like, treating you like a boy, that's probably not your wife.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I didn't say divorce her now. Like, I didn't say because she been trying to talk to you like you a kid, but you know what I mean. Like, it's clear, man. They know when they know, like they say.
Yeah.
And everybody in my house, even my dog, Jet, bark to that, you know. So everybody know who the man of the house is.
Yeah.
And that's clear.
I see that with a lot of relationships, there's a power dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, especially if the woman's a high earner. So she feels like, well, if I'm contributing 50-50 in this household, I have half or even more the authority than you. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of, especially young people or young couples, they son their husbands. And their husbands are okay with that because they're used to being led by a woman in their house, whether their father wasn't around or their mother was just a voice in the house. So with everything as far as like that power dynamic that's going on, in the event that it does go to a divorce, should women pay men alimony?
I'm going to be straight with you. I think that just like you're entitled to it, he's entitled to it. Because the reality is, if he stayed home and that was a choice y'all made together because y'all supposed to make it together, the reality is he negated his ability to earn. He negated his ability to save. He negated his ability to have investment accounts or to build assets without you. So why should he not? Because women, y'all, the first thing y'all say is, well, I stayed home and took care of his kids. Well, he stayed home and took care of the kids. What's the difference?
Yeah.
So we can't get selective amnesia because it's male, female. We get selective when it's beneficial to us.
Absolutely.
Let's keep it all the way real, y'all. Y'all know I'm talking straight.
Absolutely.
Like, it's like when it works for you, it works for you. So stop dogging these guys because they're going. Now, if you're just going after a woman's money because you just doing it to do it, and women, you just going after a guys because you ultimately just went to them because you knew they were making some money and you could get some money.
Yeah.
And you had no, anticipation of having a long-term relationship. You went into it with a wrong heart. You are not deserving of it.
Yeah.
But to you who you dedicate your whole life to this relationship, and why should you walk away with nothing? Like, y'all, she went to work every day because you stayed home with those kids.
Mm-hmm.
He went to work every day or vice versa, and she stayed home with those kids. So they're deserving just like you're deserving of that.
Yeah, it should be gender neutral.
Neutral, for sure.
Child support is one of the most emotional and controversial topics in America. If a man is paying child support, should he still feel obligated to help out financially in other ways?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because in most cases, and some of the brothers out there going to be mad at me, but the reality is, I'm sorry. My kid is 9 years old. I'm giving a scenario because my kids are grown. They're 9 years old, and I give mama some money every month for you. Mama is probably not telling 9-year-old that I'm using that money to pay bills or I'm using that money to take care of you. So 9-year-old goes over dad's house and 9-year-old needs some shoes. Or 9-year-old want to go to Cedar Point and have a good time with dad. So should you not still be a dad because you're giving some money? Like, that's not what the relationship is based on. So because you're helping on that side of it, the reality is you still want to be a father. Like, you still should be building a relationship. Everything is not about money, but stuff costs money. Mm-hmm. So the reality is, when I had to do shared parenting with my kids, I never thought about that. Wasn't a second question to me. It's like, my kids with me, like, I wasn't about to say, well, you only going to eat McDonald's and I'm going to Outback tonight because mama, she got to buy you Outback when you were her because she getting money for you. No, because they will never experience the relationship and what you and they remember. They'll never forget that presence. And I always say, sometimes we talk about presence, not presence. They'll never forget those memories they made with you. And it's like, I'm not gonna sit there and penny pitch and figure out, like, okay, well, I gave her $70, so that means I only can spend 10 on you. But now, of course, when it comes to budget, now you might be paying out and you can't afford it. Mm-hmm. So that's a difference, though. Now you got to have a real conversation, like, hey, y'all, and you got to talk real to your kids. Yeah. Like, dad just can't afford it. Like, I'm helping mom out, and you got to then educate them what you doing. Yeah. Because they'll never forget that. Like, well, dad made $2,000 and mom getting $1,000, y'all. So when y'all come to dad just trying to make it. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm gonna do the best I can, but y'all, I really don't got it. Why don't we have those real conversations? Yeah. They don't forget those, because why we get excited every time a 3-year-old can rap a whole Drake song, and we think they can't remember us talking about a money conversation. Mm-hmm. We applaud it. That go viral. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Drake in my car. I saw he was in some kid's car, bought him a Cadillac truck or something. That kid will never forget that. Well, they'll never forget that conversation, a real conversation, because kids one day become adults, and they don't forget conversations like that, and they will actually value you and show, my dad got character and integrity. Yeah.
So what do you say to the men who are dealing with a woman who takes a child support and she doesn't spend it directly on the child's needs? And the kid says, hey, I want to go to Cedar Point. Can you send me money for Cedar Point? Or I need new cleats for football practice. What do you say to people in that situation?
I'm buying the cleats. I'm buying the tickets to Cedar Point. I'm not sending them no money that is going to add to what she going to spend it all. Because at that point, but the reality is the courts have to handle that. Because it's really nothing. What can you do about it? Like, what can you do that you sending her $4,000 a month and she getting her hair done? She got a new purse, a new bag every month. Or she get driving a G-Wagon, and your kid sitting up there looking like a sloppy little kid and had a haircut in 3 months, wearing some old shoes, but she fly to death. Yeah. Like, what can you, like, so you gonna let the kid that has your last name look a mess just because you're giving her $4,000 a month? Yeah. That's still my seed, man. Mm-hmm. I don't care. It's like, I don't care what I'm giving her, what she's not spending. Now, that's where the courts get involved. So let's stop trying to take stuff in our own hand and understand the process. And that's what you pay a lawyer for. Hey, we need to go back and talk because this is what she's doing. This is documentation. I'm spending all this money on my kid because she's not spending no money on my kid. I got to pay for my kid's dental because she ain't taking him to get his teeth fixed, and I'm paying her for that. And let the courts deal with that. Mm-hmm. That's the only role you have. Because what you going to do? Go tell her and make her spend the money? Yeah. How you want her to? Can't do it. Yeah. So we could talk. That's unrealistic talk. So just put the steps in place. But I ain't no way in the heck my kid gonna be out here looking crazy. Yeah. And I'm living life with a new woman and a new set of kids. I'm not doing it.
Graduation and prom season just passed, but we're seeing Black prom go viral every year. Yes. People are spending $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on Black prom. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a scenario where a young man was flashing a lot of money for his prom, and he also he was killed later on that night, and the family did a GoFundMe. So, in your opinion, where does the irresponsibility come in for families that's spending thousands of dollars on prom but not having life insurance for their kids, themselves, or any other people in their family?
It's ignorant. Y'all gonna get mad at me right now and say, Larese, like, you would do it for your kid. No, I wouldn't. Both my kids went to prom, and I could afford to do that. I could afford to have a 50-inch screen behind them with their baby pictures on there and had a whole drive up. Didn't do none of it. Didn't do none of it because I knew in 2 months both of my kids were going to college. What was I investing in? Their future or their now? We keep investing in now. What looks good, and we ain't good. We look, well, we shining, rolly. Like, it's certain things I just won't wear. I've never owned a Rolex. And I'm not knocking if you own a Rolex. I'm not wearing an AP. I'm not wearing a car in my hand. I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. And people be like, well, again, it's the power of knowing you can.
Right.
And no, I'm not knocking you because there's people who make a lot of money. And again, I'm not talking to the people because some of y'all going to be in the comments, well, like, oh, this person do this. Well, I'm not talking about the person who has margin. I'm not talking about a DJ Khaled. Somebody was in my DM and said, well, DJ Khaled be flat. But guess what? This man going out and doing engagements, making a couple $1 million in one night.
Yeah.
He got margin. I'm talking to the person who's going to spend everything. Your watch is more valuable than your savings account. If what you got on today is more valuable than what you got in your account, you got a problem. Mm-hmm. And I'm on here to challenge you. I'm not on here to be your best friend and let you hear what's on social media that make you feel good, but you're not good. The reality is we doing these proms and these send-offs, and then you sending your kid, and the next year, your kid ain't went to college because they trying to find themselves.
Yeah.
Put that money into helping them find themselves.
For sure.
That could actually, 20 grand could pay for a trade. That will now make them instant millionaires. So what we doing here, y'all?
Yeah.
So it's priorities. Because you trying to get a viral. What money did you make off that viral moment?
That's what they want. And a part of it is they're also trying to compete with other adults.
Yeah. And so my thing is, last I checked is, they not paying your mortgage. They're not paying to open that business. They're not a part of your family legacy. So what you competing for? Like the saying always says, it's like the only competition is yourself. One thing I told my wife, so my wife is in the industry, right? In the hair industry. She's been a hot hairstylist in the industry for a couple decades in this city. Clientele still booming, shop booming, doing her thing. And you all know that industry is known for, them being fly. They're going to have the bags. They're going to have the look. They're going to do certain things. But the reality is it's about margin, everybody. It's like, I'm not saying that you can't have things you like. Mm-hmm. In life, unfortunately, we're more of consumers than we are owners.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I told her when I married her, I'll never forget it, something I told you on dates when we talk about talking real. I told her, I don't compete with nobody. Don't ever show me somebody got a bigger house. Don't ever show me somebody has a better car. If she will comment on this and tell you, I said that to her. I don't compete. I don't care what somebody else has because I want to celebrate people. When I start having where I got to compete and I start getting envious,
For
like,
sure.
oh, man, they got a bigger house than me. I got to get a bigger house now. Now, I'm comfortable where I'm at, and the reality is my mentors taught me how to live like no other so you can live like no other. Now Dave Ramsey says live like no other so you can give like no other.
Yeah.
Because
like
at
that.
some point, you got to change the narrative and start thinking about how to be a blessing to other people and not just yourself.
For
So
sure.
I would just say everybody out there, like, stop trying to do that because you're not making no money off that day. You just spend a lot of money that you'll never see again, and then you trying to figure out why your kid asking you to help pay their rent a year later
Yeah.
because you didn't set them up for success.
Yeah, for sure.